Okay, you can see that the starter, I just kind of wedged it up over here and out of the way. And then right here, up here, and then back there, just 2 bolts, 2 fasteners. And then here is the torque converter inspection cover. So get that out of the way. And now we can see the torque converter. Now I have to get up there and rotate the crank around. Wow, major kind of oil leakage going on here. But we'll start rotating the motor around in a clockwise position, and then I'll start unfastening all the fasteners to the torque converter to the flywheel here. So get that process going. So I took the plastic cover that's for where you gain access for the oil filter. They do have a little cover, but we're just going to make it easier so I can get to the crank and start rotating it around so I can get to the bolts to the torque converter. But note to myself, I'm going to have to replace this line right here. This vacuum line needs to be replaced. It's pretty bad off. So I'll get a wrench and start turning this engine over so I can get to the bolts. Yeah. Well, I've rotated the motor over, and you can just see the bolt right there. So now I can get up in there and start taking those fasteners out. So away we go. It's never ending. Well, now we're going to start the process of lowering the transmission down and taking the fasteners out from the transmission to the engine. Well, we're almost into the final home stretch here of getting this thing out, so whew, fun. Okay, so this tranny's out to the shop. It's getting rebuilt. It's going to cost them about $850 to get that baby rebuilt. Not a bad deal, you know. So let's go through a little bottom end of what I may have missed, but we'll talk about. It was kind of a weird transmission in a way, because it didn't really want to come out of off the back of the motor. I had to actually kind of pry it off. But let's go up under and let me show you some things. Okay, so we're up under here. As you can see, the fuel lines are still connected under here. I never took them off. The book says to. I don't believe you need to. When you get the transfer case off and everything, you're able to get to the fasteners that fasten it to the transmission right up in here. So everything is still connected. So let's talk a little bit about this area, this bolt, this fastener right here, which is located just off to the side of the block there. That is the most biggest pain in the butt fastener on the whole transmission to get out, because you have to take a wrench in there and barely turn it and, you know, get it out. So that would be a fun one to put back in. Like I said, this transmission didn't want to come off the back of the motor because it was kind of seized up on there to the pins. So I had to actually pry it a little bit off to get it to remove itself. But, you know, the dipstick's still sticking under here. When I go to jack the transmission back up, I'll actually put it back in, and then it'll go back up into place. Like I said, the starter is still wired in. I just moved it down like it is right there. There's the train lines pulled away and wired to the torsion bar. But all in all, this was a pretty easy disassembly and removal of transmission. Some of the fun parts that I'll have is actually putting the transfer case back in here, because it kind of just fell out in a way. But that's what I have for right now. We'll just have to wait, and he'll have it rebuilt in about less than 5 days, and then next week I'll be throwing her back in here and getting this job out of my garage. Yeah, choo-choo.